Hi everyone, Brad here. Welcome to Airstream of Utah, and on this Maintenance Monday, I'm going to discuss with you how to winterize a driving model. Join me. Before we get started, please know that you should always consult your owner's manual because some things are different in different models and different year models. So always consult your owner's manual before embarking on any of these things because that tells you how to do it. If you have any questions or concerns or are uncomfortable doing any of this, you can bring it in and we can do it for you. But here are the basic steps to winterize this 2022 Interstate 19. Not that different from winterizing a travel trailer. It's not that different from winterizing any other driving model that Airstream makes. But again, consult your owner's manual. Airstream recommends that at least twice per year you bring your driving model in for a service checkup. And that includes checking the water systems to make sure there's no leaks, checking your propane and gas systems and making sure there's no leaks there as well. If you're going to store this rig for more than 30 days, it's recommended that you remove the house batteries completely from the rig, store them in a cool, dry place. If it's less than 30 days, you can just simply use the battery disconnect switch. All right, steps to winterizing this model. First of all is get it level. We're sitting in the showroom right now, so this rig is already level. If it's not level, you would use your same leveling procedures you use when you go camping. Next thing is to go inside your rig. So in your wet bath, your sink right here, your outside shower, make sure you open the hot and cold valves on all systems. Next is to climb underneath. So back there in the back rear, there's two low point drains. And you can see a red and white PEX line sticking out with a valve on them. You open up those two. Then you drain your fresh tank. So right under here, under this side, is your fresh tank. Remove that drain plug and water comes flowing out of your fresh tank. Then you want to winterize your toilet. So flush the toilet first, push the pedal down, let all the water flow into the black tank. While we're on that, a caveat to that is you should have already done a tank dump of all your tank systems. On your toilet, you need to, once you've flushed it, part of the winterization process is to also disconnect the water supply line and let the water drain out of that as well. While all of your water is draining, it's a perfect time to go around and collect your hoses. So your inside wet bath shower hose, take the hose off, let that hose and handle drain completely, and make sure that your outside shower hose is disconnected, handle and hose itself, and drained completely. Once everything is finished draining and you can see water coming out of nothing else, then you can take an air compressor. You can do this at a service station, you can do it in an Airstream dealership, an RV dealership, or you can do it at your own home if you have an air pump. So connecting into your city water inlet valve on the other side, there's a little valve and you can connect an air pressure hose to that. Put no more than 50 PSI into your fresh water system and let air blow throughout the system. So it's going to blow all the water out of every water line. One thing that I like to do personally is I like to close them all and then one at a time, hot and cold, go around and verify that only air comes out of those. Now, speaking of your hot water system side and this type of model, this has a Truma water heater built into it, so water heater furnace. It's not recommended to blow air through that, so you need to put on your water heater bypass valve before you start doing any air input into this type of system. Make sure you also depress your foot pedal on your toilet to make sure the air blows through that system and blows only air out. And then, under the ottoman on this side of the rig, so right adjacent to your kitchen counter, there's an ottoman right there. You need to remove the cover. So there's a couple screws. You remove the cover of that, and you get down into your water pump. You disconnect the outlet valve of your water pump, and as long as your fresh water tank is drained, it should be a very minimal amount of water, but put a rag or a pan or something underneath that once you've disconnected that quick disconnect outlet valve of your water pump. Turn the water pump on briefly, and it'll pump out any remaining water in that system right there, and leave that system disconnected until you're ready to use it again. One item of note is if it's disconnected, it's recommended that you put a note, something big warning sign right here next to where your controls or somewhere in the rig that water pump is disconnected. Reconnect before use. That's the basic gist of winterizing this model with air. There's an alternate method you might want to use if it's of significance to you is antifreeze. So you can get this RV safe, drinking safe antifreeze, and you can run this stuff through your entire system. The basic process is exactly what we just went over. I drain the system first of all the water, clean all the tanks out. Then I take a hose, something very similar to this, and I hook this part onto the inlet side of my water pump, and I put this end of the hose inside of a gallon-sized jug like that, and I turn that water pump on, and it's going to suck the antifreeze through here, through the water pump, out into the water system. Then I would need to turn the valves on one at a time. Hot and cold faucet sink, hot and cold faucet shower, toilet, outside shower, until I have nothing but pink antifreeze running out of that pump. Once that's done, then I have winterized my system completely with the antifreeze instead of air. Airstream says you can do it either way. It's really a personal preference as to what you choose. To clean this system out, it's very simple. You fill up your fresh water tank and run fresh water through the whole system until no more antifreeze is coming out. One item of note when winterizing the Macerator pump. So different than travel trailers, RV driving models have a macerator, so it's a pump that pumps out your black tank. One thing you have to do with this is once you've dumped the tanks, you must pour some non-toxic antifreeze down the drain into your black tank, and you need to put this next to a dump station and run the macerator pump until you see pink antifreeze come out the end of that hose, and then you know that it's done. Then you open and close your dump valves to make sure a little bit of pink water comes out of that, and close it again. Then you go inside the rig and you put some of this down the sink drain, both front sink and bathroom sink, and in your toilet, to make sure that those P-trap drains also have antifreeze in them for the wintertime.